All is one reflections. Let's see who's here. Fatima, hello, my love. Hello, Luna. Hey, girl. Shanette. Jenny's here, so that means Charity is somewhere close by. Hey, Jordan. I don't know who you are, but hey, girl. All is one. All is one. All is one. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's Riverbank Revelations. I want to thank you guys for waking up with me, getting right with me as we learn more about alignment for this time in our life. Before we get started, I just want to let you guys know a few things that is going on here at the Orisa Hoodoo Institute that we have going on. Hey, Rakita. Hey, Vita. Just a few things that's going on right now. First off, I am having all is one Ia. I am still accepting students for my free mentorship as well as my practitioner and training mentorship. Both mentorships allow you for the just to really be in the practice. You will be guided by me personally. I will make sure that you are right, mind, body, and soul as you establish your journey within Orisha Hoodoo. Actually, all my students that are in practitioner training are also in the free mentorship as well to supplement it. And it's actually highly recommended to join both so you can understand how Orisha traditions really work for you in your life. And as your goal, if it is to be a practitioner, a priest, root worker, whatever, you need to be in community. That's why this opportunity is great and it's still open. So if you see this, find me on Facebook. You can also drop the link to the app, and it will be in the comments below. Also, tonight, Priestess Olaia and Priestess Agiola have their Curating the Moon class going on. So if you'd like to learn more about moon magic, hop on that. Speaking of moon magic, we know moon is illumination, especially with this full moon coming up. That's why Priestess Omisika is going to bless us with a good old free money magic 101 class, okay? All these classes can be found at the Orisha Hoodoo Institute upcoming classes, as well as directly on the app. And if you're having trouble with the app, you aren't understanding it, you are going to make sure that you are going to be in my app 101 session literally right after this. So right after this, I'm going to spend 15 minutes going over the app thoroughly with you guys so everybody understands how to use it. We're trying to get off Facebook. We're trying to get off Instagram. We're trying to get off TikTok, Patreon, all that. This app is ours, okay? It is our private community. With that being said, if y'all are ready to drop in the good old word, go ahead and get some honey pots going. Hello, Christine. All is one. Get your honey pots. Get your honey pots. Y'all ready for this word to stick, okay? Get your Bibles out. Get your Bible app out. Whatever you need. If you're my student, you're using your Bible and you're taking notes, because we know that we're going to apply this to our practice because we are practitioners in training. Amen and ashe. Good. So we are in Psalms 46. Now, last week we spent a good time really understanding what it means to be connected to source, what it means to be connected to the divine. What that really means is, hold on 1 second. Yeah. Okay. Just making sure. I was sending a link to somebody. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so last week we really spent a good amount of time talking about what it means to be connected to source. We talked about what it means to really understand how spiritual connection is important, especially during this time of healing, especially this time of renewal, especially of this time of overall get right. Okay. We are recognizing that being connected to source is how we will grow. We know that if we're not growing, we are dead. And as children of the diaspora, as royal priesthood, as a chosen generation, we know that we must grow, we must elevate, and we just can't be stagnant, right? Whether that be stagnant energy, whether that be disagreeable energy, whatever that is, we are bringing that up and out, okay? So right now we are in Psalms 46, making sure that we are really understanding how connection to source is important, not just the direct, because just oh my god, just not oh my god, not only the direct connection but the indirect connection. Remember, our body is our first altar. Remember, before we can really understand how the Orisha work around us, we have to understand how they work within us. That goes with our gungun as well, that goes with our ori. It's understanding what that means, that guidance, that protection. Okay, so first starting out, understanding so, the ancestors are our refuge and strength and ever-present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth will give away and the mountains will fall into the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam and the mountains quake with their surging. Now, first off, historically speaking, we're talking about crises. This is a verse of crises. This is a verse of understanding, again, where your help comes from, honestly. Okay? Understanding that life is going to impact you. Life is going to life no matter what, no matter who you are. Life is going to life. Okay, life will shake you. Storms will rise. The Bible actually says it rains on the just and unjust. So you really got to decide how you are going to hold your umbrella, if you're even holding one at all. Understanding that people will test you. There will be bitches, niggas, and bitch ass niggas at every aspect of your life. But how are you going to communicate back? How are you going to respond, if at all? How are you moving, right? And somebody close, might do you wrong. They might betray you, go against the grain for whatever reason. But understanding that having a solid foundation in your spiritual core, within your ancestors and within yourself, is part of standing in divine alignment when all the bullshit occurs. So when we understand that our ancestors are our strength, our ancestors are our refuge, we understand that our gungun has literally walked before us. They have done the sacrifices. They have prayed before you even got here. A lot of us are here because of our ancestors' works and our grandmother's prayers that has carried us generation after generation, and they're still having that same ashe, if not stronger. Understanding that they are still actively progressing and working with you. Okay, they are watching over you, they're guiding you and covering you in ways that you wouldn't see. Okay, that means that nothing really can be moved. Okay, you shall not be moved like a tree planted firmly in the ground. Okay, so when there are the times of chaos, when life seems out of control, especially right now, because all right, we have to remember, again, tapping in, because if anything, they did this shit before, and y'all know what I'm talking about. Also, understanding that it's important to stay aligned with community at this time, and understanding the covering and alignment within community. It's more than just words, it's action. It's how you show up, it's how you do your best for yourself, and it is how you align to really do what you need to do. Okay, that is where that protection comes from, that protection from the storms of life. You don't have to go anywhere when you are feeling like life is kicking your ass. You have a spiritual community. If you don't have one, you're joining our app so you can get involved in our spiritual community. A safe space, okay? Understanding again that our ancestors have a power within alignment where we have to make sure that wisdom is at the forefront. Okay. Also, this is where tapping in and maintaining Ori is important. Right now, um, the practitioners in training are spending a lot of time understanding Ori, understanding Agungun. So when it gets time for the other Orisha, they can understand what that means, what that looks like. I suggest you guys do the same. Even if y'all don't want to do priesthood, even if y'all don't want to do all the things, just for yourself, tapping into yourself, because recognizing that a refuge is a fortified space, okay? A stronghold, nothing can penetrate through it, okay? Understanding that with the spiritual forces that we have, with the ancestors that are with us, around us, and through us, our work is fortified again through our prayers, again through our work, and through daily spiritual discipline. That's why it's important to make sure your protection game is up on every aspect. That's why, so when things like that happen, it's just like, all right, girl, just another day at the office. I know what I need to do spiritually and physically, right? Because yes, it is, let me go ahead and clean my house so I can do this floor wash real quick and, do a little left hand work to handle that situation. But it's also making sure that you are standing firm in yourself. You're not doing anything out of your own alignment to make you feel weird. Okay. Stress weakens the body, fear weakens the body. Okay. When you're stressed, your immune system is literally compromised. It's your body is getting it becomes vulnerable to weakness and sickness. Same spiritually. Okay, that's why spiritual and physical um protection and alignment are important just as much as physical well-being. All is one reflections. Okay, so understanding that you are using herbs like rosemary for clarity, you are using herbs like hyssop and frankincense within your workings, whether it is to light a candle, okay, for clarity, understanding that the refuge comes from your ancestors. So that's literally a white candle recipe for clarity, purification, and spiritual fortification attuned to this verse. That's the recipe if you're paying attention. So moving on to understanding that tapping into the river. So like, how to say, tapping into um, the river, not only from a physical point of view, but also the spiritual. Understanding that when understanding that when there's a river whose stream make there's a river whose stream make glad the city of the ancestors, whose place where the Most High dwells. The ancestors are within her. She will not fail. Her help will break at day. Now, simply put, first off, the energy that the ancestors have, it flows literally just like the river, or yeah, and understanding that the river itself has nourishing, sustainable energy. When some of us are really blocking the flow, some of us are holding on to pain, which is blocking the river. Some of us are refusing to listen to our Ori. Some of us are refusing to get and heed the divination. That's blocking the river. Some of y'all and us, I'm gonna say us because this is community, okay? Some of us are out of alignment and not living with our purpose. That's literally damming up your own blessings, okay? Remember that the energy that is meant to flow, it flows freely. Ego is the resistance, fear is the resistance, trauma is the resistance. The river itself is filled with wisdom, strength, and power. Why do you think people get baptized in the river? Getting cleansed by the medicine that she brings. Okay? Another reason why spiritual cleansings are important. Another reason why we pour libations. It's practices that remove blockages. It's allowing the energy of divine connection to flow. Okay? The clarity is there. And also understanding that when we are analyzing the river, obviously, Osun, right? So when we're analyzing the river, if you're listening, you heard some of the things that I mentioned about why this is so important. We're also understanding that, again, stagnation. Okay, sustainability. Your spiritual energy must remain in motion even when you're at rest. When you're at rest and your spiritual energy needs to remain in motion, that means you are meditating. That means you are praying. That means you're literally sitting still and listening to spirit. It's nothing more than that. Being at rest doesn't mean just not doing shit at all. No, being at rest means being still enough so you can listen, being still enough so you can understand how to be guided, and being still enough to understand what needs to be removed. Okay? Understanding in general that understanding in general that again, nations are in uproar, kingdoms fall. He lifts his voice and the earth melts. Again, the power of stillness. Okay? Everything is going on. That don't mean you gotta go on with it. Okay, within stillness there's power, within stillness there's clarity, within stillness there is alignment. When you stop moving for just one moment, you're able to create the space to receive wisdom, and you're able to allow the protection and the ashe that I was talking about, the energy flow, to really begin. None of this is about rushing, because when spirits, it's just, none of it's about rushing, it's about moving. So moving when spirit says move, but also standing still and standing down when spirit says that as well. And understanding that you're doing equal amounts of meditation in both to align you with that. Most times ancestors, they're not yelling, right? They speak, they communicate in different ways, whether it be like a whisper or a dream, or if you don't know, you're coming to me and find me and we're going to figure that out. But understanding that if you're too loud, you're too distracted, you're too caught up in the bullshit of life, that it's going to be very hard to listen. And understanding that if you just do it one time, that's not gonna do anything. You have to be repetitive. You have to be in a way that allows for repetition to flow and for the medicine to take place, because prayer and meditation are part of spiritual hygiene, are part of your medicine. Okay, so what must you do? Just be still and listen. Okay, and understand that being still is the practice of tapping in and another way of being deeply connected to the divine. Okay. What's important is that this week we need to remember to stand firm in our power. We need to make sure that we flow and we don't block our own blessings. We are standing still and listening. Your Ori only knows the way. Your ancestors are ready to guide you if only you would listen. And that's for my God mom. No fear, no doubt, no hesitation. Move in your power, align with your ancestors, and live in your truth. Okay? So, understanding that with this time of cleanliness, spring cleaning, how we're applying the law of growth, the law of expansion within this month, how we are remaining connected to source. We're also making sure that we are releasing the shit that doesn't serve. Because we have a lot of things that is coming up for us, a lot of good things coming up for us, and we don't want to let the outsides of the world, whether it be the political shit or just the shit at your job or just whatever, we don't want that to get caught up in your blessings of life, your blessings of family, your blessings of expansion, because that is spiritual wealth. What I want you guys to remember is to just flow. I want you guys to remember that it is important to understand that there's power that you have in yourself, but the power is recognizing when to move and when to stay still. But more important all, recognizing that your power comes from your spiritual court, starting with your Ori and your Gungun. If you would like to experience these verses that I went through in a new way, you are going to do the white candle ritual that I spoke on earlier within this live. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you're replaying it and you're leaving a comment for that free ritual. All is one. Yes, 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 yes. Exactly. So this week, make sure we use the aspect of alignment, we are using the aspect of peace, and we are using the aspect of flowing. Our body is our first altar. We are mostly water, anyways, okay? So if the divine river is supposed to flow, that also means that you are also supposed to flow naturally with spirit. When you resist, that's when you dry up. That's when the stagnation is there. When you are in alignment, you become a living river, okay? A living flow of divine nourishment and an aspect to allow what is really meant to happen and pop your shit wholeheartedly, okay? And when life is forcing us to sit down, whether it be for any reason, whether it be because we are taking a break from work, whether it be because we're taking time for our health, whether it means whatever, we are using that time to really rest and sit down. We have to understand that our spiritual court and our ancestors and our Ori have set a sound, really things for us to exceed in life. So when they're saying to sit down and rest because you need to do something right here, and that literally just means to lay your ass down and just listen to me for a second, then we can really get the full medicine that we need. Let everybody else do what they need to do. You don't always have to have and do everything, Black woman. You don't. And I'm not just talking to my good sis here. I'm talking to everybody on this call. I'm talking to the people that feel like they have to save the world and do all the things to make sure that shit just flows. There we go, Eo. Water has no enemies. You must flow with her or nothing will work. Oh, mio. Water has no enemies. So that's why when we say, when it's time to move, you move. When it's time to do what you need to do, you do what you need to do. And that's why community is important. That is why community is important. One of the reasons why. And that's beautiful. And I love that for you. Because you deserve that. Everybody deserves that. All right. So this one was a little bit quick because it's a lot going on today. Um Okay, y'all know y'all can say stuff. Y'all don't have to wait for a priestess to say something. If y'all are feeling it, say something. If y'all need me to reiterate something, say something. Yes, being conditioned for so long, a lot of unlearning and understanding with that, we must give ourselves grace, considering where you are, right? Because you have to think for so many years, you have been told to do this one thing, to do things this certain way. You have to do it. You have to do it this way. Now you're coming into a space where you really ain't got to be anxious for real. You really ain't got to, do all that. Just chill. When we say Ifa is easy, we are saying that Ifa is easy as literally going to the river to get that cleansing. I made a post about that in the app because I was having a hard day, and it was like, all right, we do it, O'Shea. And I was like, girl, okay, girl. And that's actually funny because when she texted that, I was like just having a really bad day at work, and I was having troubles like with my studies at school. It started raining automatically, and my wife was like, "Oh, your mom's outside." Great mothers, Oya, Osun. Okay, so she was like, "Let's go outside." So I'm going outside. And it felt good, to get that cleansing out. It felt good just to like relieve that bullshit just for a moment, right? And it made it easier to, literally show up to class that night, and get literally everything that I needed from that, right? And that's also part of moving when spirit says move, because that wasn't on the calendar. But that's also, that goes to our schedule versus spirit. That goes towards understanding what you need in that moment versus um just being lazy about it. And when I say being lazy about it, I'm saying, okay, no, you're just gonna sit and sulk. That's not saying you don't need to do a little bit of reflection. That doesn't say you don't have time to process your feelings. I'm not saying that at all. It's important that you process your feelings and process them well. But what I'm saying is we cannot allow the spirit of depression, anxiety, and all that get in the way of what we need to do. And that's speaking as somebody who's experienced these things. And I'm not just preaching or teaching at y'all just to say shit to make it feel good. No, because that was the case, I would not even be up here. Y'all, we lost an hour and now I'm tired as hell. But this is part of the sacrifice of the community. There is no power greater than submission. Flow. Water has no enemies. She rests metal, extinguishes fire. She rots wood. Submit to the flow and watch everything change. So if those of you guys who study Oriki and Odu and things of that nature, there was just a lot of power that was set with that. A lot of the priestesses that are on the call, they understand that. They get that. But for those that you guys that are just out here, let's take a moment for that. There is no power greater than submission. Flow. Water has no enemy. She rests metal, extinguishes fire, rots wood. Submit to the flow and watch everything change. Okay, so there is no power in there is no power greater than the flow to get out your way, the flow to really have things align, the flow to really pop your shit. It's easier to move out the way than to stand in your own way, because when you're standing in your own way, okay, now we're having repeated cycles. Okay, now more disagreeable energy is flowing. and not the way that we wanted to. It's just more bullshit. Understanding that when we allow water to just be, so if I put a nail in a glass of water over time, what will happen? Water will do its thing. She ain't got to do nothing. With fire, you literally, it's all done. Same with wood. Now, understand these are all elements of the earth. Understand that these are all of the things that are listed here have their own aspects of energy as well. But understand we cannot do anything without water. Exactly, a rusty old nail. That's exactly what it turned into. So if water can do that, and water can extinguish fire and rust wood, but that same water can also cleanse you via baptism, via spiritual bath, or re-cleanse. Your body is mostly water anyways. Yeah, I know what you meant, sis. Water is mostly, your body is mostly water anyways. Okay? So flowing, nothing can be done without water. But understanding that nothing can be done without water is also understanding the power that water has. Understanding that, okay, when we release ourselves to really, all right, I know that Ori brought me into this place because I'm needed to be right here. This is a destiny that Ori had chosen to me for herself. So I'm going to walk and I'm going to walk it well. I also know that because Ori chose this journey for me, that I came from a good bloodline. Not just a good bloodline, a great one. A strong one that protects, provides, and does the things I don't even realize, the things I forget to thank them for. And then I also have, the spirits that are within me. I'm not even talking about the ones that's walking with me, thank you, Ori, but also the ones that's within me. So understanding that since I have that within me is also understanding, okay, I need to understand what it means to step into my own power. Oh, me. Okay, I'm glad. I'm glad y'all are feeling it. I'm glad y'all are flowing. At the end of the day, like I said, I know I keep saying that, but clearly I'm going to say it again. Unless somebody puts something else in the chat that I need to expand upon. Okay, let spirit flow. The fuck? Understanding that when we know where our help comes from, when we know that we are well, when we understand our personal power, we know that we remain unshaken despite the bullshit of the world. Using Psalms 46 with the ritual that I said early on, using those herbs for 5 days will allow you to understand that your ancestors are your foundation, your Ori is your guide. You have no fear, and you are flowing well. Okay? My name is Reverend Priestess Osun Kemibi Ifakemi, aka the Soul Doctor. If this message has blessed you in any way, shape, or form, please send a love donation on the cash tag below. Also, share this video. If you do the ritual, tag me in it. Let me know how it blessed you. I am about to go on the app, drop the link so I can help. Just do a quick run through for about 15 minutes to show everybody how to use the app. Remember, this is not created by Facebook. This is not Meta at all. This is literally our app that was created for us. Okay? nobody has anything else, I think that's it. Remember, everything's okay with Dr. OK. Until next time, peace, like the river.